I've lived a pretty long time. I mean, ever since I was a little tyke, I love the Narutos. I watched all the Narutos all the time, every freaking Saturday night. But then I couldn't really enjoy any of the violent parts because the parental guidance on the TV kind of just blocked it. And it's like, oh, this isn't suitable for TV. And then we went to the future where thankfully that no longer really exists anymore and you can have your own TV. You know, I remember when I first read Shakugan no Shiana, freaking great book, freaking read all of it, first light novel. You know, anime came out. The 2 seasons were pretty good. And then literally everyone was trying to be all like, hey, that Shakugan no Shiana was pretty popular. Let's try and copy that. And then we had like a buttload of freaking people trying to do Shakugan no Shiana. And then everyone kind of failed at it, like spectacularly. And you got SAO, freaking came out. Everyone hated it after, you know, better shows came out like Log Horizon and that other one that I can't remember for some reason. Personally, I didn't care much at all for all these other video game anime stuff. You know, I freaking hated Log Horizon, I hated freaking SAO, Over Time. I kinda liked it when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh, well that's stupid. And then you move on to the now, which arguably is the isekai genre. Now, to be fair, isekai genres have been pretty decent. You know, you got some stinkers and you got some pretty darn funny good ones. You know, you got Overlord, which I think was kind of the start of the whole isekai thing, and then everyone loved it. And then you got freaking, you know, reincarnated as a slime, which I heard is fine. Haven't freaking watched it because not my thing. And then you got freaking overly cautious hero, which I watched. Pretty funny. And then you got freaking My Life with the Cell Phone God thing, which looks really dumb and I haven't watched it at all. And you have all these isekai shows that look fun, and some are just so stupid and dumb that you can't sit through them at all. You kind of want to tear your hair out, like me for instance. The same thing happened with the high school harem thing. Index came out, everyone's like, hey, Index is pretty good, let's copy that. Granted, that's maybe more for High School DxD, but I refuse to give that show any credits. Now it's kind of just everyone doing the same thing. You know, I tried to watch the Vinland Saga, and I can't. Mainly because when I was watching Vinland Saga, I was like, is it just Vikings doing Viking things? There's no like mythical creature, no Norse mythology, like, and the freaking Vikings are speaking Japanese, and the French army was speaking Japanese despite they're freaking French, and Vikings being Norse, and that freaking weirded me out. And then I was also thinking, you know what? This series may end up being a pretty good Dynasty Warriors ripoff, like that Arslan show that I watched, I think, half of it, and stopped. Now, what's the next? What's the next thing? You know, what's next? What's the next anime someone's gonna rip off? Are they someone gonna do like a show about animals? Oh. So, you know, after all these years, watching all these animes just kind of fall to the wayside. You know, it's just all these people copying other things. You know, you get some glimmers. You get some cool different stuff every now and again. Like for instance, we got
Dorohedoro.
Derudo?
Dorohedoro.
Derudo.
Dorohedoro.
You know, that show, pretty freaking good. You know, I don't know what's up with all these animes that have gibberish names like Durara and Dororo and Diderudo. You know, I don't get it. I don't get why these gibberish names sounding animes have freaking good stories. But for some reason, they have good, interesting stuff going on. Granted, isekais do have a bit more creativity, because, you know, transported to like a magical world, transported to a world where you're a slime, transported to a world where you're again a magic hero person but is satire, transported to another magic hero world but you're a skeleton. You know, you could do a lot of different stuff. You got transported to a world of nothing but butts, and you know, it's interesting, different, sure. But with this, it's actually thought up by someone that doesn't have the mind of like a 10-year-old. No offense. No, here it's like you got weird magician people turning people into insects, and then you got this one guy that has a lizard head, and he got turned into a lizard head. And, you know, when he bites someone's head, and they're in the head, and some guy in the lizard man's throat pops up. And he says, if you're the person that turned his head into a lizard head. Now, on paper, that sounds pretty ridiculous. But here, it works out pretty well. Freaking violent, the animation works really well. It's blended well within the boundaries, though. At first I thought, oh no, CG. Because whenever I see CG in an anime that doesn't have that, and I see like cars and freaking airplanes, it just really throws me off. Like, yeah, I get it, budget, sure, but it's like a 5-second scene. That may be excusable. I sometimes excuse it because, yeah, 5-second scene, but I just see it and I'm like, oh, you had this. I see it in freaking Persona. There's a scene in Persona 5 where there's like a freaking CG car, and I'm like, this game had a budget. You couldn't animate the car? But yes, this animated looks good. Looks good. Blended well within the environment. Reminds me a lot of that fighting anime on Netflix where I first saw, I'm like, oh, that looks bad. And I watched some of it. I'm like, oh, you know what? This complements pretty well. It's pretty good. Not that bad. I watched some episodes. I'm really enjoying it. It's freaking different. It's not all this other anime freaking crap coming out with high schools and harems, and I'm just so sick of to death. So much. It sickens me. There's not like an ounce of originality in anyone now. It's like, oh, this thing's popular, let's copy that. It's like with Index, sure. It's a high school superhero, no, not superhero, it's like a high school superpower thing, which arguably isn't even really a harem, because there's no like harem elements in it, like at all. And some websites this is a harem, but there's like hardly anything. There's like ever only 2 girls in the same room, and almost none of them do anything. Only like Musica and Index are really in it, really. Everyone else kind of just gets pushed to the side. And yeah, I have some gripes with Index. It can be pretty, you know, some pretty stupid stuff in it, but for every stupid thing, there's like 5 really cool, awesome scenes or moments or things that are really neat and keep me invested in the series as a whole, which I'll probably just keep going on with it until it hits its end point, because why not? I mean, yeah, there's some weird things like I don't agree with, like how Style is 12 years old for some reason. That doesn't really add anything. I don't know why Kimichi did that, but why not? Sure, just make him 12, be a weirdo. And now Kamoi's like 20. So who's molesting who with Style and Kamoi? Is it Kamoi molesting Style, or is Style molesting Kamoi? I don't know. It's a loop-de-loop of freaking contrivances. That's the Index series, am I right? Anyways, I just wanted to make this video to say that Doro is really, I think, a big game changer. This is something I've been craving for, something I've just been watching, because all the anime coming out now are just so boring. It's unbelievable. Like the blandest, most boringest thing I've seen. I remember watching this opening recently for had like the word orphan in it. And there's like a guy that looks like Ryu, and he's like just it looked like so boring. I was watching it, I was just sitting there, and I'm like, this is the most anime that ever animated ever in anime. Like a guy looks like Ryu shooting fireballs and it's at skeletons and monsters or something, and it's like one of those anime you just kind of watch a trailer at, and you're like, oh, I could lump this in with every other anime, like Legend of the Ten Heroes, or, you know, just a trailer you see, and it's just nothing but fireballs, punching, swords. It's just, I feel like a lot of these animes coming out are just really just lackluster. It's just all kind of feel the same thing. And you have this shining star bursting forth from the pustule of anime. Freaking Naruto is still going! Boruto! I don't watch Boruto. I stopped watching Naruto after it ended. Actually, before that, I remember reading the manga and being like, oh, it's done. And then I just stopped watching. It's freaking sick. Bleach ended. It's gone. Maybe it'll come back anime. I don't care. I'll watch it. Sure, yeah, Bleach was fine. But still, Bleach is over. Yeah, they're continuing it in novel form. And I heard, you know what? I heard that's actually pretty good. I heard the novelization of Bleach is really good, to be fair. And for what it's worth, it kind of needed it a bit. But still, One Piece is still going. And again, that's more of a social obligation to finish. Because you watched it like 40 years ago. And it's fixing like its 80% marker of it being complete. Leave your comments down below. What do you think of the current state of anime? How it's kind of the same thing. What'd you think of Jared Jojo? Good. Have a good day.